everyone, I hope you had a great week. Loki's been moping around still, so I had to get him a new collar to cheer him up, and it's quite hysterical how our cat Butters has been trying to cheer him up too. I think he definitely notices that there's a missing dog in the house. So stay tuned to the end for clips of Butters trying to cheer him up. It's so cute. For me, I dealt with the week by gardening, and where I buried my dog, I planted a dogwood tree and some beautiful flowers. It's a memorial for my dog, so when I look over there, I'll just smile at my memories. And it's no coincidence that I have a red and white checkered shirt on today. It reminds me of Italian pizzerias growing up as a kid, going in, and they'd always have red and white checkered tablecloths in the Italian restaurants. So when I saw this shirt, I knew I had to wear it for today's episode. So let's head to the kitchen and make some meatball subs. You want to get what you're talking to me for? What's your... Are you ready to go cook? Are you ready to go cook? Okay, forgive my co-host. He's over here thinking we're going for a walk because I came up into the kitchen. He's getting all excited, sitting by the door. So I got started over here. We've got one small onion chopped, and we're going to put that in a bowl with very finely chopped, well, kind of finely chopped mushroom. I'm going to chop it pretty well because we're basically making meatballs out of this mixture, so we don't want really big chunks of mushrooms. But this was an 8-ounce package of mushrooms. So I'm getting it nice and chopped. And as you may notice, I've got some backsplash up. Brian actually put some up last night. We ran out of the tiles, so today he's going to try to pick up more. But when we picked that out, there wasn't enough at the store at the time, but it didn't stop us from buying it. So he has to get the rest today, hopefully, at a different Menards. That's where we got it. Really happy with how it's coming out. I like it a lot. Okay, so we've got one small onion chopped well, one 8-ounce package of mushrooms chopped well, and half of an eggplant right here. And what we're gonna do with the eggplant is we're going to peel it this time. I have made these meatballs without peeling it. Wasn't real fond of the texture that it left and the pieces of skin. So this time we're going to peel it. And I think visually too, I didn't like the visual look. I mean, obviously I'm trying to mimic Italian meatballs, and it just left these little square pieces of purple in there, so I didn't like that look. So we're gonna take it off. Also, you may see sitting next to me on the counter is a brand new MacBook Pro. I haven't even opened it yet because basically it got delivered right before I started in the kitchen today. I just ordered it. And the reason for that is with doing these videos, I have to do a lot of editing, and my laptop wasn't handling the editing program very well. It kept freezing up. And in order to bring reliable videos to you, I was going to have to upgrade. So for any of you that want to upgrade your kitchen or get a new laptop, just start a cooking show on YouTube. You have lots of excuses to get new upgraded things, such as knives, bowls, a new backsplash. Isn't it great? Can't wait for it to be finished. But if you're going to be on YouTube, you got to make your kitchen look, you know, somewhat nice. And it was something I was wanting to do anyway. All right, I'm having a tough time peeling it with the peeler, so I'm just going to get the rest of that off. Yes, the dangerous way towards myself. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut this in little cubes. Okay, once I have all my cubes, I'm gonna combine them to my bowl with the mushrooms. And I'm taking, this is garlic salt, and I'm gonna put just, I don't know, a little bit on the top of the eggplant. It's gonna help dry the eggplant out as it cooks, as well as seasoning it. So instead of cooking this in oil today, we're gonna try something a little bit different, and we're gonna cook this in no beef vegetable broth. It'll give more flavor to it, and it'll eliminate the fat content being added to it. I'm gonna start off with just about a half a cup. And we're gonna add our mixture to that. I am cooking this on medium-high to start off with. Basically, we're going to want to get the eggplant nice and soft, as well as cook up the onions and mushrooms. Okay, so this is at about 6 or 7 minutes in on cooking on medium-high, and you've got it cooked down to look like this. And right now I'm just going to cook out a little more of the moisture to make sure that my meatballs stick together well. The eggplant lets off a lot of liquid when it cooks. You just kind of need to use the broth to get things started so it doesn't stick. Okay, so my cooked mixture has been cooling for about 10 minutes, which you're going to definitely want to do because you're going to have to get your hands dirty to make meatballs. So now we're going to combine all of our ingredients to create the meatball. So I have 1 cup of cooked farro. You could use brown rice, white rice, instant rice if you're in a hurry. I have found farro to be my newest favorite grain. It's got a lot of texture to it, and it's, to me, a very meaty grain. So for a meatball substitute, obviously I'm gonna like that texture. So we have 1 cup cooked in no beef vegetable broth, as well as 1 cup of lentils that are cooked in no beef vegetable broth. I find that lentils have been a great substitute for texture when I'm trying to mimic a meat because of that little bite if you don't overcook your lentil. So that's why I use that in a lot of my meat recipes. Instead of adding breadcrumbs to this recipe, we're going to be adding a half a cup of cooked cracked wheat, or burgle, however you know it as, but cracked wheat. If you don't know how to cook this, it's really pretty simple. Basically, whatever amount that you need for something, you add boiling water to it and just set it on the counter until it absorbs, and it's about 20 to 30 minutes. 1/3 cup chickpea flour adds a little protein to the mix. 1/3 cup nutritional yeast. It's my favorite go-to for flavoring a lot of things. Now, with meatballs, you usually have an egg in there to help absorb and to help bind things. Well, today, instead of using flaxseed, we're using Bob's egg replacement. And on the side of the package, it says to use 2 tablespoons of water for 1 tablespoon of the egg replacement. I choose to use 3 tablespoons of water to just help with all these added ingredients to help it bind. I found that when I first used this egg replacement, it thickened up way too much for my liking, so that's why I just add more water to it. I've got a tablespoon of Italian seasoning, just another shortcut so I don't have to add 4 different things. 1/2 teaspoon of red pepper, because I like a little zip in my meatball. Of course, we have to add more garlic. That garlic salt was not enough for an Italian meatball, of course. So I've got about 1 clove worth of garlic being added. And then this is going to be the secret ingredient to make it taste more meaty. And this is the bouquet browning sauce. And that's going to give it some good meaty flavor. Okay, so this is where the fun begins. We're gonna get our hands dirty, and I need to take my wedding ring off. And we're gonna get in here and we're gonna form meatballs. And I'm using my new favorite pan. It's a copper, I guess you call it air baker. Okay, I should have preheated the oven before I got my hands dirty, so I'm going to take a second and preheat the oven. All right, 375. Okay, so this mixture made 18 meatballs, and what is going to make a special treat I'll tell you about in a second. So I'm going to put these meatballs in the preheated oven, 375. It's going to cook for about 25 minutes. You're going to want to check them. You're wanting to dry them out, but not to the point of being hard. So 25 minutes, 20 minutes, I would check on them. Okay, so this is about what you're gonna have left over, which is awesome because what I'm gonna do with this is make little breakfast sausage patties. I basically just spray my middle skillet on my stove and I put out little meatball sizes and I flatten them and then I brown them on both sides, let them cool, put them in the fridge, and they heat up so quickly. And they're just an awesome little sausage treat to eat in the morning. You can either put it on an English muffin and eat it that way, or serve it up with your breakfast. But they're so good and they're a nice substitute for little sausages. So these are great little sausage patty replacements. And if you haven't noticed, there's only 7 left on the plate because I had to taste one. And it looks like Loki's turn is to taste one now too. You want some? I think it's cooled off enough, buddy. Here, let's just go with a little bite. Hot. There you go. Too hot for you? You like it? It's Loki approved. You want the other piece? The other piece? Good job. So I'm gonna wrap these up for breakfast this weekend. Okay, my oven timer is just about ready to go off, so I'm getting my sandwich prepped. It's as simple as basically a sub bun, because we're having a meatball sub today. I'm so excited. Basically, just pour any type of sauce you want on there. Okay, slather the sauce on there. And you can use any type of vegan cheese you want. I happen to have a vegan Parmesan on hand. And I'm gonna take those meatballs out of the oven and then put this in the oven for just a few minutes. So there's our meatballs. They're dried out, but not too dried out. So once you put them on a meatball sub, they'll taste like you're biting into meat. So in a hot oven, that sandwich would probably only need a couple of minutes to heat up the sauce and the cheese. I'm getting excited to eat. Look at that. Oh my goodness. That is just one yummy looking sandwich. Okay, so what's really nice about this recipe, as you see, it makes lots of meatballs, and I only needed 3 for a meatball sub. Surprisingly, I don't like being in the kitchen that much. I just have so many other things I'd like to be doing, like working in my garden and weeding and stuff like that. So I am in the kitchen purely for the fact that I love to eat great food. So I try to create shortcuts. Well, making a batch of meatballs that large will last us quite a while because they do freeze well. Being a plant-based product, just let them cool nice and put them in a container and freeze them, and there you go. You have so many more meals with these. And of course, spaghetti and meatballs would be a great option to use this for. I personally just wanted a meatball sub today. I grew up in New York where Italians made some of the best food, and I've had some of the best meatball subs, so I was craving meatball subs, and that's why I had to create this meatball sub recipe. And I'm telling you, it has been a while since I've had an Italian meatball sub, of course, but this is a great substitute for somebody craving a meatball sub. evenings eating carrots and yogurt for lunch like I used to always. Such a hearty flavor, so satisfying. This is definitely a party for my taste buds. Thank you for joining us today. I hope you enjoy your meatless meatball sub. I definitely am. I enjoyed making it for you. Not for you.